How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of 4Nerds, kind of a bonus episode that just kind of came into fruition this week. Really quickly, but like we're very, very excited this is happening, and we're able to talk to Wayne T. Carr, aka Green Lantern himself, John Stewart. How's it going, Wayne?
Hey, how you doing?
Can't complain. Can't complain. I mean, when you have an Emerald Knight in your presence, it's obviously a little intimidating.
That's right.
Yes.
Don't be intimidated.
No, it's great to have you.
I got three nerds in front of me. I'm a little intimidated. I don't know where the fourth is, but
Well, what are you talking about? You're the fourth nerd here today, man.
I'm the honorary fourth nerd.
Yeah,
He's
he's the honorary.
Yes.
There usually is another guy. We can't remember his name on the top of our
Yeah,
heads
I
right
forgot
now.
his
name.
He's not that important anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
Anyway, yes, Wayne, it's great to have you here. It's great to talk with you. I know you've had a lot of interviews over the past couple weeks with, of course, the news of you playing a certain character coming out. And so, again, it's just very, very great to meet you. And so we kind of want to just talk with you about, obviously, the Green Lantern, John Stewart, because you and Zack have had a little bit of fun this week with fans. just a little bit of fun. And just in case viewers don't know what we're talking about, of course, we got these pictures right here that were shared by both Wayne himself as well as Zack himself, which, of course, you got a stretching Green Lantern here.
Yeah.
And right over here, you have a little tennis ball. I guess it makes an appearance in the movie at some point. We'll talk about that. And, of course, we also got this from Zack on his Vero, the oh-so-infamous Vero account that just spills so much tea. So I guess my first question for you, Wayne, is I'm assuming since you guys posted so close together, were you and Zack coordinating this, or did you post yours in response to him posting about it?
No, man. I got excited about the Green Lantern news on HBO Max, and I was like, that is dope. That is cool. I'm excited about it. They're actually getting things going. Dope. Hey, HBO, don't forget, like Green Lantern 2.
I mean, you have your John Stewart right here. I mean, he's
exactly. So I was just like, it was real. I just wanted to like drop that, and sure enough, I'm sure somebody told Zack, and he was like, I got some stuff too, and he just dropped. We didn't coordinate at all.
I love how casual it's just like driveway productions. We just shot this in our driveway. That's no big
the
deal.
car is like right there.
Yeah, right.
Is that your car?
That's mine. Yeah.
That's a nice car. No, you pulled right up like, hey, is Go Park right here? Yeah, you're fine. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. So obviously, this is a situation that only would happen in COVID, right? Where you have to go onto a very isolated set, the green screen behind you. And correct if I'm wrong, is this the first time you were able to use motion capture, like have a motion capture suit?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And so how was that for you? Because I know, like, obviously in a lot of productions you've been in, of course, as always, the costume and everything, you see the people you're interacting with, you see what you're wearing. Was it weird kind of just imagining what would be on the suits afterwards, like just acting that out?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I'm a grown kid. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I'm just a grown ass kid. Yeah. So it's kind of fun. I'm in the right profession. We just we use our imaginations all the time. You know what I mean? Like, you all have seen the behind the scenes shots.
Yeah.
You see, Wonder Woman, Batman, and they're reacting to whatever. And it's nothing but green screen. You know what I mean? The whole reaction, and they're looking like, oh, I'm going to kill that thing. There's nothing there.
I mean, you're talking to a tennis ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is Bruce Wayne. Okay, that is, because I was going to ask you if that was like some other Green Lantern, a big guy by the name of Kilowog.
Yeah, no, Kilowog would have been like right here, maybe. But that,
Oh, okay.
Oh, you heard it here first.
He said maybe, though. He said maybe. He said maybe. I mean, what was that like? Doing your dialogue, staring at the tennis ball. Like, okay, Wayne, just look right here, and that's Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, cool. That's him right there. Got it.
Right on, Bruce Wayne. I heard about you.
I heard about you. Because like you're talking about how you see all the behind the scenes stuff and these characters reacting or these actors reacting to something that's not even there. Does that, because obviously, again, coming from a stage acting background, on your perspective, does that make things a little, I mean, obviously it makes things a little bit more awkward, right? When you're acting it out, like, of course, because you're not in the present moment, you don't see the things going on around you. Do you kind of have to change your mentality when you go into it? Or you just kind of try to approach it the same way?
No, it's a little different. You really have to like create everything on your own. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure because I haven't worked on a full-blown production. I'm not sure how much they give you in those situations. Of course, you know, like I said, we've all seen the behind the scenes, and you see the guys, the stuntmen, and people in the green suits walking around, you know, the green pajamas, walking around moving things so that, you know, Superman understands that, oh, that's a brick wall coming at you and you need to punch it. You know what I mean? Like, they have things like that to kind of like help them out. But for me, it was just, you know, I had to use a lot of my imagination. Of course, it was really, really quick the way this thing kind of happened and fell into my lap. Great blessing. But of course, in the theater world, I have the other actors around, but we do have to imagine other things that are not there, that are literally where the audience is. So if the audience is right here and I'm supposed to be talking to the ocean or whatever, or shit, imagine that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, that's interesting. So you kind of talk about how it kind of fell in your lap. I know you kind of talked about it a little bit on the Lightcast podcast, but from my recollection, Ray Fisher recommended you to Zack, right? So like, did Ray tell you that he did that, or was that just kind of something you got a surprise phone call from Zack one day?
No, Ray's funny, man. Ray kind of gave me a call and said, "Hey, man, there may be some news." And I'm thinking it's just about him. I don't know what's happened, you know, like is going and he's sharing with us all the time what's happened. And he said, I might have some news. I'll hit you back later. This was on a machine, of course, because I would have him if I didn't hear, you know, if he was that vague. But he didn't like really leave anything. And then finally I got a hold of him and he said, so I was talking to my buddy Zack. And I'm like, Zack? He tells me Zack Snyder. I'm like, okay, you just say that so nonchalantly, right?
Oh, that's Zack. Okay, yeah.
We got you.
I was like, cool, great. And then he explained to me a little bit of what's going on, but he was like, Zack may want to talk to you about some things. And sure enough, like the next day, Zack called me and I was walking to get some pizza. And then
a green ring fell on your finger.
And a green
disappeared.
I was like, yeah. And then we proceeded to have conversations after that.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Wow.
And going back to this picture really fast, I know our friend Ryan, who couldn't be here today. We do know his name. For those who are watching, we do know his name. We love him dearly. We just give him a hard time.
Yeah.
But Ryan was curious about the hair of your Jon Stewart. Or in some instances, like for the facial hair, the lack thereof. Because a lot of famous iterations of Jon Stewart have the goatee, right? So was having him clean shaven a you decision, or is that Zack wanting, or is this kind of just how it went?
So yeah, all of this stuff was within a month, right?
Right.
This stuff, you know, by the time I got the call, I think it was almost exactly a month. It's crazy. But by the time I got the call from Zack and kind of like talking back and forth, literally for the next week and a half of us being on the phone talking about his ideas and his thoughts, I'm thinking, am I just helping out? Am I filling in for someone? I had no idea. And then he said, can you send me your measurements? I'm like, sure, fine. And then when I realized that we were going to shoot this scene, I said, so I've been quickly doing some research and I've noticed a couple things. What are you looking for? Do you want him to have the beard? I can do that. Do you want him to have a goatee? Do you want him to be clean shaven? He was like, let's do the clean shaven one. Nice. And then he sent me some images of a drawing. And so I went to my buddy and he cut my hair as close as he could to what we saw. And that was that.
Wow.
Oh, it's sweet.
So like you drove to the set looking in the mirror like, I'm Jon Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Here we go. Here we go. Harry Lennox driving by you like, hey, you're like, no.
So, Wayne, how
Tunnel vision.
long of a shoot was this? Was it just one day or
1 day, 4 hours, man.
4 hours? Oh, man. Any kind of stunts involved, wire work, anything like that?
No, man, because like it was very minimal.
Right.
We have a big crew, as you can see on Zack's photo. It was really small. It was basically him and his son and the bare minimum. It was just like some guy who was able to do the sound, and so it was crazy. So Eli and him were running the show, and when it came time to like do like the landing type stuff, it was all me kind of going on my tippy toes, coming down off the block and landing. That was
Movie magic for you.
They're gonna do whatever their magic is.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I don't know if you can answer it or not, but like in the scene, when you filmed the scene, did you stay on top of that block or did you come down from the block?
No, the block was kind of like the landing, right? So I was coming down off my tippy toes, off the block to talk to them.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Also, I don't know how much you can say about this. Okay, so you've seen Zack Snyder's Justice League, phenomenal, epic, whatever. The movie's fire.
He's like, what's that? Like,
So the dialogue from Martian Manhunter to Bruce at the end, was yours similar that they had you say, or can you say?
Yeah, I can say it was very similar. It was Zack was very, because it's not a very huge scene. So Zack in between shoots would say, all right, land, and then say this. And he just changed it up on the spot. So I'll land, I'll say that thing, finish the rest of the scene. He was like, okay, instead of saying this, say this. Right. So we did it. It's a short scene, 4 hours long we were there. So it was just kind of like different things that he wanted to add in. And when I saw the finished movie, what Harry Lennox said is different from what I said. It was pretty similar as far as the information that he needed to deliver, but it was
okay.
Right, it's a little bit different context because, of course, it comes from a different character and everything. And and it's interesting that like Zack planned ahead, like he knew some things would be like maybe iffy or up in the air. So like he's like, okay, let's get a version with this character. Let's get a version with this character. And if I can do what I want to do, let's get this guy in there. And you mentioned it being such a quick turnaround from when you got the phone call to when you shot the scene.
Yeah, man.
And in that time period, kind of like what Andre was saying before we start recording, all of a sudden, like your name is everywhere, like absolutely everywhere in regards to Green Lantern. How has it been for you this past month to see all these fans just like celebrate the fact that you were Jon Stewart? How has that been for you?
First I have to say, like, I've learned a lot about how important these characters are to fans, right? Like I have my own attachment to Jon Stewart because growing up, he was the first Black superhero I saw. I was like, oh shit, what? This is crazy. And it meant a lot to me, right? It was like, all right, this is dope. This is cool. And I get that way whenever I see any kind of diversity in something that I think is just kind of like traditionally whitewashed or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, that's what it is. But then when I saw a superhero that looked like me, it meant a lot. But I've met people, and of course, everybody has their favorite Green Lantern, right? And they're like, oh, I like this one person, whatever. And like Hal is the main person for a lot of people, but a lot of people, Jon Stewart is the main person because they grew up on the animated series, right?
Big time.
And that's what I'm familiar with as well. So it's been dope kind of like to talk to people and realize that this is nostalgic, for them. This means something to them. And the fact that they're willing to allow me to be a part of that, even when I wasn't in the movie, to really, truly bring the character to life, is an honor, man. You know what I mean? Because fans don't have to do that. Fans can just go, okay, well, who's the next person going to be? But they have brought me into the fold and allowed me to represent the character, and it's dope. Whether I get to play him in the future or not, it doesn't matter, man. I've been shown a lot of love and I appreciate it. I shouldn't say it doesn't matter, but because it would matter, it will mean a lot to me. But yeah, it's been awesome to, not be shoot down by the fans. You know what I mean? I've been shot down by the studio, but the fans.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, that's the thing is that, when the news came that there was a scene featuring a Green Lantern, I mean, leading up to even the announcement that we're going to get a Snyder cut, there's always been this ongoing rumor about there's a Green Lantern in the movie. And so people have gone back and forth on who it is, on, which lantern it is, when it happens, when the lantern shows up.
Yeah.
And, when we finally got hard confirmation that he filmed a scene with a Green Lantern with an actor, and he said, a really good actor, he said, everyone's just freaking out. I was freaking out. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, who could it be?" And then we finally found out, it was you. And then now we see the pictures. I mean, it's this. Have you seen yourself as the Green Lantern, even like in an image, like fully rendered and done?
I've seen the still that Zack has.
Wow.
Oh.
Because Zack was saying on Vero, like someone asked him, "Will we ever see the Green Lantern scene?" And I think the words he used were, "I don't think so, but I have some pretty awesome stills."
Yeah,
and it's just like the day those stills drop, like pandemonium,
it's gonna be mind blowing,
insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, hashtag release the Green Lantern scene. I mean, seriously.
yes,
gotta happen.
I want to see your performance in the movie. I mean, the Harry Lennox scene was awesome. But knowing that, you had a scene with Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, I want to see it. I want to see what that was, and I want to see how it turned out, how it looked. I mean, the image you saw.
Me too.
You're preaching to the choir here, Andre.
Just like us, we all want to see it.
We all want to see it.
Yes.
Was the image cool? I mean, did it blow you away when you saw it?
It was dope, man.
Oh, let me see this so bad. I want to see it,
Andre.
It was so cool. I was just like, wow. And so when I actually saw the movie and I saw Martian Manhunter in the scene, I was just like, all right, cool. How would he have shot? Or how would this have been different? Because the energy of Howard was a little different than this. And seeing it, I was just kind of like, man, no offense to the Martian Manhunter, right? He's a cool character, but it just is a completely different story when a Green Lantern comes into the
this is huge.
Everything.
Right.
And not to mention, we already saw Martian Manhunter earlier in the movie.
Right.
So now it's more of a follow-up. So you would have been an entirely new character altogether. Like, whoa, and let me ask you, have you had the opportunity or have you taken the time that when you watch the scene, do you ever say your lines as you're watching the scene? Like, hello, Bruce. Like that he talks on the movie. You're like,
no. I go
like your wife's like, wait, what are you doing? No, nothing.
No, I'm good.
Something's wrong with the volume. Like the clicker not work. There we go. You want pizza?
Oh my gosh, that's freaking hilarious. That's hilarious. And go ahead, Anthony.
I want to ask you, so how long have you and Ray known each other, Fisher?
Oh my gosh, we worked together. We were doing theater 8 years ago.
Oh, nice. So okay, so you guys were friends before he got cast as Cyborg. So like,
yeah.
What was that like? You guys are close. Like, were you the first person he told, or how did that work?
I think people knew before he knew.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So like we as friends, fans of his, read the trades and stuff like that, right? And then all of a sudden we see our friend's name in this thing, and we're like, wait a second, what? And I think Ray kind of like just found out. I don't know, probably knew and wasn't able to tell people, but
yeah, okay,
it was kind of crazy, when he kind of like started to let it out and tell people, because I'm sure he just got a flood of love from fans and family and friends.
Yeah, I remember when that, because it's just a headshot of him and it said, it says stage actor Ray Fisher cast as Cyborg, aka Victor Stone, and Justice League. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So
I imagine it'd be really hard to not just be like, what the heck? You didn't tell me if you read that in the trades for you before they told you. It's like, dude, man, we're close. Why didn't you tell me?
No, that's how it is, man. None of my family knew about the Green Lantern stuff until on social media.
Oh.
See, that's the reason why I couldn't make it in Hollywood, because I wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. I would have blew it. I would have been like, hey, everybody, check it out.
Like if I were cast as like Bruce Wayne or something, if I were ever cast as Bruce Wayne, like as soon as I left the meeting, I would be like, put it on social media. I'm freaking Batman.
Straight to the phone. Yeah,
but that goes to show you though, like the actors that have done that. I mean, it goes to show you that, like, people just get excited when they get cast in certain roles that they want to go on social media and be like, hey, and say something about it. And then, the studio will say, hey, take it down, or you can't say that. And you're like, oh, shoot. But no, I mean, it's really cool to know that, that you were cast in that role. And especially, the fact that you're good friends with Ray Fisher. And on top of that, you're friends with another guy that we know, which is Ray Porter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So now we just need to complete the trinity of friends and get Ray Fisher on the show at some point. But yeah, we've had great conversations with Ray Porter, and Ray Porter is another example. You're talking about how when you were cast, or when people found out you were John Stewart in the scene that Zack shot, it was a very similar reaction to, of course, when Ray Porter was discovered to be the voice of Darkseid. Yeah. Like as soon as people found out, people were just like, "No way! We want to see this guy in action. We want to hear his voice and everything." He's been on different podcasts and shows. I think we've had him on our show maybe 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah.
But just one of the sweetest guys you'll ever meet in the entire world.
Yep.
Like, just so humbling to talk to him, because like he's just so nice, and he just like comments on like your shows and everything, and it's just like, dude, we're like a very amateur show, but you complimenting us is so nice.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy. Such a really great guy.
Yeah. So how's it been? I mean, this just like what Andre was talking about just a little bit ago, this past month, just this past couple of weeks, I've seen you do it on several different channels doing interviews. Like, how's it been? Is it like, yo, like 2 months ago, I wasn't getting asked to come on anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so how has it, how has that, like, I guess, stayed in your mind as far as like this change and this like overwhelming showing of love from these fans?
Yeah, man. I mean, like it's a lot of fun to be on this side of things, because of course, being friends with Ray, I watched things from the beginning. Like I was just like everybody else, and I was like, oh, they got my boy Ray on. Like, like it was cool and it's dope, and and to be in this situation where people are like, hitting me up saying, hey, would you like to come on? I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is dope. And so, yeah, it's nice to be on this side of things, man. It's been absolutely awesome. My brother's about to come into town tomorrow, and I'm expecting a baby shortly at the end of the month or the beginning of next month. So awesome. I'm doing a lot of work right now. So I'm like trying to talk to everybody that I can.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. And congratulations as well. I mean, I can see the changing pad behind you, and
yeah.
It's all ready to go.
Books up there. I don't know. No, you can't see the books yet. But
But and you were saying that this was your office originally, and now it's the baby's room, right?
Yeah.
That's what happens, man. That's what happens. I mean,
must be made.
I had my own. So in my previous house, I had a room dedicated just for me. I had my computer, my video games, all my stuff in there. And then when we decided to have a baby, that was the first room she picked. Like, this is going to be his room. This one right here. I'm like, what about the room? No, that's too far away. This is the one right here. Like, okay. She's like, that's the guest room, Andre. So
that's why I like
get rid of your room.
Personally, I'm really looking forward to having kids. I'm also not looking forward to moving all of this stuff ever. Like, that's not going to be a fun time.
Like, my studio is literally outside my house in a separate structure, like away from the house. Like,
so Andre's fancy is what he's saying. He's got his own building.
I got my own building.
Nickatina Studios is what it's called. Oh my goodness, that's pretty awesome. But it's so crazy how this fandom. Again, we've talked about this a couple times already in this interview. How the fandom embraces these people who come in and are unexpected. Like, again, you were very much an unexpected person to come in. All of a sudden, again, like people are talking about like crazy, and then same with Ray Porter and everything. I'm curious, like, has there ever come a point where you and Ray Porter and Ray Fisher all got together like, dude, this is pretty ridiculous. Like everybody's just all of a sudden flooding our DMs. Like it's just like sympathizing with each other. Like, help me out.
No, man. I think when you're an actor and you're trying to do film and television anyway, if you get any kind of buzz, it's an awesome feeling, and and it makes sense when you're a part of a franchise like DC, and attached to that you have a director who is the hottest thing out right now, and so yeah, I mean, and portraying a character that people have emotional feelings attached to, you know what I mean? Like it's truly emotional feelings attached to those characters, and so it's just nice to be a part of it. You're just like going on the journey, on the ride, and it's extremely humbling, because it's like you're playing people's favorite teddy bear growing up, you know what I mean, or whatever. It's a big deal to people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely is. And so that begs the question. We're talking about, like, of course, a character you're able to play, whether it be inside a comic book film or just simply in a different genre film. Is there a character out there that is like the be all end all of characters that you want to portray in your acting career?
No, not for me. There's not like a character, but the thing, every actor loves what they do, the storytelling thing, for one reason or another. And mine is to connect, the thing I love about storytelling and acting is that at times when I'm at my best and I'm doing my job to the best of my ability, I become the vessel. The story comes through me and it affects someone, and someone gets a message or they feel a certain thing. And that's heaven to me. That's like the best thing that I can, anybody who has a passion to do anything, whether it's being a doctor, a dentist, a shrink, whatever, I don't care, it's construction worker. When you see your finished product and you see how it makes people feel, that's the thing that kind of like rocks you, man. And so every character is different. So there's no one character that I'm like, oh, that's the character that I want to play. That's the be all end all. No.
But this character in particular, I mean, if you were to get the call from Zack saying, "Hey, man, I need you to come back and do more scenes,"
he's gonna stop you right there. He's gonna stop you right there.
Yeah. You're like, yes. Don't you need to finish? I already bought tickets.
Sitting on my computer waiting for you to call.
I know, click. Well, that's awesome, though. I mean, I can only imagine the feeling of that opportunity even existing, the possibility of it. And it's just so exciting. I mean, this has to be one of the most exciting times of your life in the sense that you have this role that's just waiting for you. At the same time, you have a child coming into this world as well. I mean, it's just quite the busy time of the year for Wayne T. Carr.
Yeah, man. It's absolute blessing all around. You know what I mean? I'm just taking it one day at a time. I'm taking my last month of, like, I'm not going to say freedom. Wrong.
You can. When you have really kids, yes. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It changes everything. And so it's cool to be able to talk to you. It's cool to be able to, like, chop it up with the fans and read all of the articles and watch all of the interviews and listen to the drama, And,
oh yeah.
It's out there.
I got bigger things on my plate right now. So
yeah.
So you are a teacher now. I remember you were saying that early on when they were asking you, hey, has anyone asked you about the role? And you're like, no, they don't even really know about it. I mean, now that time has gone by, have any of your students or anyone on campus like asked you, like, hey, you're a Green Lantern?
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I mean, like, some people know, some people don't care. Like, like my parents, they don't know anything about comic books. Whatever.
Fans are excited, and you go home. You're like, Mom, Dad, I was John Stewart. I was a Green Lantern. That's great. Hey, pass me that real quick. Thank you so much. Right.
You're talking to my dad. Look at that. That's what it is. Like,
you're like, all right, cool, all right.
That's kind of how it is with my dad. My dad's not a huge comic book guy, and so I'll talk to him about stuff with like news about different comic book movies. He's like, oh yeah, cool. All right. What'd you do at work today? I was like, oh, well, it's just fine. But I want to talk to you about this, but whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
my
if it's something they're familiar with, that's when it like.
Yeah.
I told my parents, I'm like, hey, I got to be Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay, cool, yeah, great, whatever. So I played a little teeny part on this TV show called SWAT. Oh, I love SWAT. That's it was like for a second I'm on the I love it. I can't wait. This is great. And they're all excited about that.
For a second, yeah, exactly, right. But it's still it must be a cool feeling knowing that you're involved in this project that has two of your other friends involved with it as well, and Ray Porter and Ray Fisher. So, I mean, to me, I would imagine that would feel pretty comfortable in the sense of like, yeah, dude, I have friends involved with this. Zach's a cool guy. I mean, it must be a very exciting feeling just to know that you're involved with this guy. Because I mean, look, if this is to move forward, I mean, there's no way you're not going to be John Stewart. You're totally like this is your role now, man. Like I want to see it so bad. Yes. I want to see you in the suit and everything. Oh man, I'm dying to see it. I'm dying to see the still. I'm dying to see the scene and more of you as John Stewart, man. I'm dying to see it.
We're in the same club.
All of us. We're all just
it's circular synergy. No, yeah. I mean, I just man.
But I do want to go back real quick to what you're saying about acting and in that zone you kind of get in, because I was thinking about that and it strikes a chord because you talk about how everybody has that passion, that everybody has that passion that really drives them. And there's moments when you're doing that where you just get this feeling of just like, yes, like this is it. This is the moment right here. Do you remember the first time you felt that feeling while acting? Because obviously, like, it's never a perfect starting process. Like obviously when you start things off, it's always a little rough because you got to get used to how things work and getting to know the acting tricks and everything. But do you remember the first time you felt that feeling about acting?
Yeah. I mean, there've been a couple of moments and I think we all kind of shoot for those moments, but I was doing an August Wilson piece and I was still in college at the time. Mm-hmm. And the best way to describe it is I blacked out. Like I was in the character, I blacked out, and I remember coming off stage kind of confused, not sure where I was. And the director was right there. And he came up to me and he put his hands out and he grabbed my hands and he was like, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, Are you here?" And I'm like, Yeah, I'm here. He was like, "I don't know what that was, but that was amazing." Yeah. Wow. I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what that was either, man." And then I went back to like the green room to change my costume or whatever. But it was just this moment where I just kind of like almost like left my body. And then afterwards, people, you talk to people and who saw the show and they were like, "Oh, that was great." And they're telling me about their experience. Mm-hmm. It clicked. I was like, it's not about me. It's not about me at all. It's about how it affects the people, and they're moved by it or inspired by it, then I've done my job, and there you go.
Yeah. I mentioned that because like for the past couple of years, I've personally done like musical performance, and I've kind of had similar experiences where like you play a certain song that just has the right feel to it, the right moment, the audience kind of comes into gear, and all of a sudden like you're not in yourself anymore. You almost have kind of an outer body experience. It's kind of weird to explain it that way.
The flow, the flow state is the flow state. That's talking about.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I want to ask you: was there a voice? Did you use your normal voice for John Stewart, or was it like did Zack want something higher, lower?
No, we didn't.
It was really high pitched. Like, okay.
I want you to sound like Elmo, please.
Beautiful.
Hey, okay. This is different.
We tried a couple of different things, and of course, when you have a mic like right there, right, that picks up everything. If you drop your volume a little bit, your volume and your voice kind of changes a little bit, and so whatever that. My natural voice is kind of energized and a little higher, but if I just calm down and allow the mic to pick up my voice, then it kind of like has a different timbre to it, Mm-hmm. So whatever that was is what he liked. So it was just like, just speak in that tone right here. Yeah.
He literally just says, speak.
speak. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Now, did he give you any background about like what was happening in the scene, or I mean, obviously I don't know if you can say it or not, but did he give you any context? Okay, this is what's happening in the scene. It's X, Y, and Z. It's at the end of the movie or whatnot, or is Kilowog's behind you, something like that, or
man, let me tell you how dope this situation was. And how much of an dream it was, man. I got to his house. We went to his movie theater. He showed me the scene of Ben waking up and the difference. This is the first time I'm talking about this. This is funny. But the difference in the scene that he showed me was it was dark. Like it was in the middle of the night. It wasn't day, like early morning. It was like dark. And then you see him getting up, and we've seen kind of like, I'm sure you guys have seen it pop around, but there's that glow, that greenish glow. And so that's what I saw. And so I see him getting up, and he's like, why am I up? What's going on? Or whatever. And he's looking outside over his lake. And then he comes to the glass doors, and he says his lines. Then there's a pause. And he says his line, and pause, says his line. He's like, so that's what that's your scene right there. And he tells me that he's probably going to have Ben come back and like redo some things. But yeah, that was it. So I got to see that, and he didn't tell me anything about anybody else being with me or anything like that. We just played with the lines, and he showed me that clip. He also showed me the trailer, so I felt honored. I was one of the first to see the trailer.
Oh wow!
And it was incomplete too, and that's part of the cool thing. I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And so when the Martian Manhunter, the eye thing started to happen, that was just drawings. So it was like clip, then a drawing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
It was a dream come true, man. It was a dream come true.
So you got to see what I'm assuming, I think it is the scene that he shot back before he left the project in 2017.
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned, like people said there was like a green glow on him. They couldn't have that with a Martian Manhunter because of course he doesn't glow like Green Lantern. But thinking about it, like shooting it at night is perfect because again, the green glow like that,
it would have illuminated the scene.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Gosh, now I want to see that. Now there's so many different like cut scenes that I want to see now. Like,
Me too.
But you know what? I'm torn though, because you know what? It's like I loved Harry's scene, and I love seeing Martian Manhunter, talk with Bruce, and it's part of the story and all that, and I love that. But like, I really want to see the scene you're talking about. I really want to see how it looked, how it turned out, because it's like that's like the holy grail when it comes to the Snyder cut. Now is that is the one scene that like no one has seen yet, other than you and the production, the crew, obviously Zack, but. So it makes sense now why he did have to go back and kind of change the scene a little bit, because if he's talking to Martian Manhunter, it's gonna be a little different. If he's talking to you, like Dawson was saying, the glow of your green would light up, would be on him, and he'd be like, "Hey, what's up?"
And so it makes it funny now because obviously before the Snyder Cut came out, the conversation a lot of it was about Green Lantern, but of course a different Green Lantern. People were talking about possibly Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern, which was an interesting conversation. But now people are talking about Wayne T. Carr as Green Lantern. So literally before and after the movie comes out, people are still talking about a character that didn't end up being in the movie. Like, it's crazy. It's so awesome. Like, you don't see that in any other movie ever.
Was Ryan Reynolds there on set or no?
That would have been dope. That would have been dope.
That's a hard no.
It was not. He was not there.
As much as he might have wanted to be.
Yeah. So Wayne, if you don't mind, there's something I'm not going to play it all. Just a little something I wanted to play for you. I have a very close friend, Geraldo Cortez. He's a composer and a musician, and he's actually done for my YouTube channel, and Dawson here. He's done the themes for us. Dude does great work. So I think he did this last year, but he like kind of updated it, and it's called Architect of Will. And if Dawson wants to throw it up, I'll let you. It's cool. He'll love the fact that you get to hear it. So also scroll up, Dawson. I want to know what do you think about this? This is fan art, right?
Yeah, this is the thumbnail right here. That's as much as it's showing.
Okay.
It pans up slowly.
Yeah, very slowly.
Yeah. Can you turn it up?
Yeah.
Oh, it's up on
I feel like I'm about to watch Man of Steel.
I know, right?
Geronimo's fire.
And this image too, I mean, the first time we saw the concept art being released, I mean, that had to be exciting as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Loving the Hans Zimmer vibes.
Yeah.
This could be Wayne T. Carr right here. Boom.
Yeah.
This could have been you right here saying, some people call me the Green Lantern. And you take off, you know? Over the lake at night.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm so hyped right now.
Yeah, it's good.
See, you have to go to you right there.
Yeah, true.
Look at that suit, though. That suit is badass.
Was what he showed you similar to that?
It's similar. Yeah.
I've been patiently waiting on that.
I know. It's so bad. Man, I want to see this so bad.
Your buddy?
Yeah,
Good
Geraldo's
man.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's just pretty dope.
Geraldo.
Geraldo.
He did, yeah. He's
Talented.
great. He's great.
Yeah, he's a big fan. He's a great dude. So
Yeah.
shout out to him. That's absolutely fantastic.
If you want, I can get Hussein to get those links to you for this, and there's also a SoundCloud link for it. Also, just in case you want to listen to it privately with some headphones on.
Got a workout going on. He's like freaking Green Lantern.
And then I have an image. I have an image too that I wanted to share with you. This is the closest thing that I could find where it's like literally you looking at him. And I was like, when I saw this, I was like, dude, I have to show him this picture because it's like, there you are.
There it is. Yeah.
Well, that is indeed him, Andre. Yes,
That
is a
is.
picture. Great job for noticing that, Andre.
Who took the photo? Do you know who actually took the picture? The one that Zach posted?
The one that Zach posted was Deb.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
I was wondering
She's
about
watching
that.
from a distance, be like, looks great.
Yeah, basically.
I was wondering if Zach was like, okay, you guys go. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Right the side.
His workout for the day, sprinting upstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, how was Zach's energy? Even though that was a small shoot, 4 hours. Like, how was he? Like, because he seems like a guy that's just like he's always at it.
Yeah, man. Like he was pumped. He was pretty pretty excited. Like it was his vision, right? He was trying to complete his vision, even though they were telling him not to, and so he just did what he wanted to do, and it didn't end up the way he wanted it, but he was excited, and I was excited. I think he was trying to stay a little more calm for me because I was just kind of like, "What is happening?" But yeah, he made me feel really comfortable, and it was awesome.
Yeah, that's the common consensus when it comes to like whenever we've talked to people like casting crew that have worked with Zack Snyders, that he always makes a very fun but comfortable set. Yeah. Even if it's a driveway production, he's always making it fun and exciting. Like again, like he always says, you're making something cool. You're making a movie. You're making something that people are going to watch and enjoy and love, and it's awesome. Basically, is how I think Zack would say it. He'd probably use some other more colorful words, but essentially that'd be the gist of that. But Wayne, this has been absolutely fantastic talking with you, man.
Yes, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And guys, be sure to follow Wayne T. Carr on all forms of social media. He's a great guy. Again, we need to release that Green Lantern scene. We need that in our lives.
Yes. Hashtag release the scene.
Yes. Put out the hashtag. Be sure to do all that. Be sure to follow the 4Nerds on all forms of social media. Be sure to subscribe to the channel as well. And without further ado, thanks so much for tuning in. This is 4Nerds out.